Yo, what's up guys, my name is Hakiii and you probably have at least a $500,000 budget for vehicles if you're watching this video. And despite this pretty small budget, we still have some bangers to go over, so let's get into it. I know this is technically a $500,000 budget, but the first one is well under 500k. It's actually free. You can get the Duke of Death for absolutely free. I believe all you need to do is just connect your social club account to your GTA account, which is really easy. So if you don't have a social club account yet, there's a lot of great benefits. So the Duke of Death is so good for so many reasons, not only because it's free, which is crazy, that is such a good deal. It's an armored vehicle. It's both explosive resistant and bullet resistant somewhat. Usually armored vehicles in the game are in the millions range, but the fact that this is free is actually kind of mind-blowing. You only really need to spend a small amount on the upgrades, which shouldn't cost you over a few 100k, and then you get a fully upgraded armored vehicle to use in GTA Online. It takes 4 RPGs to fully blow it up and 10 homing missiles to blow it up, so this thing has some decent explosive resistance, some very solid window protection as well, so it's a bit harder to shoot you through the windows with a rifle or something. There's only a select few vehicles that have both explosive and bullet resistance, and the Duke of Death is proudly one of them, but the only one that's free. All the other ones are way more expensive and are in the millions range. It also doesn't have any crazy size. I'd say it's a pretty average sized vehicle, but you're gonna notice that you can actually ram other cars easily. I mean, this thing is really powerful when crashing into other vehicles, especially for the size of it. It doesn't look like it, but it definitely has some sort of extra strength that Rockstar gave it. And changing the secondary color of the Duke of Death actually changes the wheel color as well, meaning you can put ice white wheels on it, which you can't do with many vehicles. If you were to put ice white wheels and then do some sort of car merge glitch, then you can have ice white wheels on other stock wheels. I guess that's a cool idea that some people might want to try with it. Besides that, the customization isn't all that great, but I mean, this car is free and it still has a lot to offer for sure. Moving on to a sports car that, fun fact, was actually the very first car I've ever bought in GTA Online. That's the Feltzer. Because it's my very first car ever in GTA 5, I have a lot of respect for it, and I think it looks very cool as well. It isn't a top tier performing sports car just because it's been in the game forever, and since then there's been so many newer cars that are just so much faster. As you can imagine, over time the evolution of the best sports cars have definitely changed. The Feltzer still has some good customization options, and the engine sound is probably the highlight of it. It's got a relatively loud engine sound. I really like the sound of it, and whenever you have a good engine sound with a vehicle, that's a plus because we don't have too many of them. The Feltzer only costs 145k, so it's not anywhere near 500,000 bucks. Another very budget vehicle. I mean, at this point we might just do like a $150,000 budget. Next is one of the best off-road vehicles in the whole game. That's right, under $500,000 we got ourselves one of the best off-roaders, which is the Camacho. You can go and buy it in the San Andreas Super Autos website for only about $345,000. That is such a good deal. Before getting into the crazy good performance it's got, the big highlight with it for me personally is actually the customization. It's got so much customization to go through in Los Santos Customs. Not only a lot of options, but a lot of unique options too. Door options, roof options, truck bed options, really cool hood options, exhaust, and many more. This is hands down one of the best, if not the best, non-Benny's vehicle we have in the game. Because I mean, Benny's vehicles automatically have a ton of customization, so it's kind of a no-brainer with them. But the Camacho is not a Benny's vehicle and still has a ton of customization. It gets a 10 out of 10 for customization. Now with the performance, it's fast, it's got some good traction, and along with the Draugr, it's my go-to vehicle for off-road races. But the Draugr is like over $1 million, I think, so it's much more expensive than the Camacho. That's why relative to the Camacho, the price of it is so good for what you get. It's such a good value, and if you're not exactly looking to do a race, if you're looking to just casually off-road, this vehicle is so good going up steep hills. It's basically like a cheat code for going up Mount Chiliad with friends or something like that. It makes it pretty freaking easy. It excels in every performance category you can think of, really. Next up is another off-roader. So we have two different off-road options in this video. Both of them are great. This one's definitely a lot different than the Camacho though. Reason is, it's a motorcycle. It's an off-roading motorcycle, the BF400. It's in San Andreas Super Autos for only 95,000 bucks. It's really easy to pull wheelies with with it and then control it. And besides the Camacho and the Draugr, if someone wants to race and thinks outside the box a little bit and wants to use an off-roading motorcycle instead of a big off-road vehicle, they would probably go for the BF400. It's probably the cheapest top-tier off-roading vehicle in the game when it comes to races, that is. It's a really fast motorcycle, so it can keep up with vehicles like the Camacho, but there's pros and cons, as you probably know, to having such a small vehicle compared to other big ones. I guess the probability of you crashing into something is smaller, but then at the same time, if someone has a bigger vehicle, they could just knock you right off easily. So it really depends on the situation. If you're in need of any GTA modded accounts, account boosts, and cash, make sure to check out Hyper Resupply down below in the description. They offer some of the cheapest and safest cash and rank services out there on all platforms. Doesn't matter if you play on old gen or next gen, and they have lots of verified reviews by their customers too. And you can even use discount code Hakiii at checkout for an extra 10% off. Now let's get back into the video. Next is the Tauros, which is gonna be right at the very top of the budget we got going. It's gonna be $498,000. Even though it's at the very top end of the budget, it's well worth the price because this SUV is crazy, especially when it comes to speed. It's actually stupid fast and gets a little hard to control because it could get so fast when it gets to that top speed. The weakness of it in performance is the handling, but it's not anything too bad. I mean, it's definitely doable. Like, you can work with it for sure. And when it comes to looks, I mean, it looks very similar to the real life version, which is the Lamborghini Urus. I actually saw one of these in real life and it looks stunning. I mean, holy crap. Both in real life and inside of GTA Online, this car's looks are just top tier. One of the best looking vehicles in the game and arguably the best looking SUV we have in the game, depending on if you like the look of Lamborghinis. Slap on a nice paint job and this thing is destined to look good, trust me. Next is yet another free vehicle. It's gonna be the Elegy RH8 sports car. Just connect your GTA account to your Rockstar Social Club account, restart your game, and this thing will appear for free. Now, don't expect it to be the best performing sports car in the game because it's just not, but for literally a free price, it is such a good vehicle. Great traction and handling. It's a very stable car when you drive it around, and it's got some decent speed as well. Then we have yet another motorcycle that's gonna be not free, but honestly pretty close to free. It's gonna be the Baddie 801 motorcycle for 15,000 bucks. As I'm making this video, I'm just getting more and more surprised that most of these vehicles are dirt cheap. Unlike the BF400 motorcycle that we went over earlier, this is actually not technically an off-road motorcycle, but it surprisingly does really well off-road as well. Both on-road and off-road, it's very fast, it's got some solid traction, and so the Baddie 801 I would say is a great overall motorcycle for any type of terrain. It's even good for stunting, so you can do wheelies really well and try to do flips and all that. Really easy to use motorcycle, highly recommend this one. Now the next one is going to be a Benny's vehicle. I decided to include a Benny's vehicle. That's right, it's gonna be the Buccaneer Custom, although there's a good handful of Benny's vehicle that you can get for under 500k. You can buy a stock Buccaneer for about 29,000, and then for the Benny's upgrade, when you go into Benny's Original Motorworks, it's gonna be about 390k for that Benny's upgrade, which still does get us below 500,000 bucks, which is awesome. And some more Benny's cars that you can get for under 500k if you're looking for multiple different options. There's the Moonbeam Custom, the Minivan Custom, the Virgo, Faction, Tornado, the Primo, the Slam Van, and the Voodoo. Those are just some of the ones you can get for under that price point, so feel free to look into them. What other price points would you like me to do so I can maybe make this as kind of like a mini series on the channel? Let me know in the comments, but drop a like on this video and subscribe if you are new with the bell turned on if you did go on to enjoy. Now click the video on screen now for the best cheap supercars that are actually worth it to get in GTA Online. I hope you all enjoy that video, and peace.